Let's take a breath together. So it's interesting doing religious holidays in Science of Mind, because technically we don't have any religious holidays in Science of Mind. And yet, because we are an assimilation of all faith traditions, we kind of have all of them. And the trick is, how do we acknowledge them? How do we celebrate them from that place of inclusivity? Our tendency here in westernized America is to focus on Easter, which, if we get down below the surface, most of what we do to celebrate Easter is pagan. The bunny and the eggs have nothing to do with Christianity and everything to do with paganism. And quite honestly, I'm good with all of it. I just like to celebrate. This morning, I woke up to the news that 3 churches in Sri Lanka were bombed. 207 people murdered, over 400 injured, in the name of religion. I am desperately trying to compartmentalize that, and I'm failing miserably. And I'm okay with that. What I recognize is a way to fit it, because we, in religion, whatever religion, we desperately need a resurrection. We need a resurrection out of our self-centeredness. We need a resurrection out of the tomb that I think I have all the answers. We need a resurrection out of any mindset that says, my way entitles me to take your life in any form. In any form. I'm doing this thing online, and some of you are following it, which is really cool. In the front of Science of Mind, The Philosophy of Faith, The Way of Life by Ernest Holmes, there is this little chart where you can read the Science of Mind in 1 year, and it lays out different passages. And it's kind of cool because it jumps around, and yet it still all fits together. And that was compiled by Reverend Dr. Edward Villiam up in Santa Rosa years ago. And a couple days ago, one of the readings, it's like, how do you get through practitioner studies and ministerial school, and yet you still find things that you've read a million times, and it's like, did someone add that to this page while I was not looking? On page 448, the first paragraph, the purpose of Science of Mind. Imagine that. There's actually, it very clearly, very succinctly, here we go. The whole purpose of Science of Mind is to reconcile the apparent separation of the spiritual world, which must be perfect, with the material world, which appears imperfect. That's the whole purpose of what we do. This morning, the world appears incredibly, excruciatingly imperfect to my humanness. And yet, I am called to know at a spiritual level that it's perfect. And I really appreciate how Reverend Dr. Petra Wellness, one of the senior ministers at our CSL Center in Dallas, puts it. We're 100% responsible and 100% not responsible. And that's the reconciliation piece. Because I'm not responsible for what happened in Sri Lanka. Not me as an individual. And yet, I have 100% spiritual responsibility to be a part of shifting that. And how do we do that? They're over there, we're over here, at least in form. And this whole thing of inclusion, of celebrating diversity, calls me to a place where I really get to choose. Am I going to live in this truth of unity without demanding sameness? Am I going to allow myself to live in a consciousness of oneness and celebrate differences? Because the time for us killing what is different from us has got to stop. It happened before the man Jesus. It happened as the man Jesus. And it is continuing to happen. That somehow in what in my earth brain says are the holiest of places called churches, we completely twist our version of God to kill versions of God. And what we don't seem to get is that what I do to you, I do to me. One of the most powerful moments in a movie that I ever recall is at the end of The Color Purple. When he's coming after her one more time and she freezes him right where he is. Everything you've done to me already been done to you. She got it. That he's hurting out of his hurt. Hurt people hurt people. And the more we act out of that hurt to hurt other people, the more we hurt ourselves. And the cycle continues. And the only way I know out of that is to stop. I don't care if you don't know what to do next. Just start by stopping. Because until we stop hating, there's no option to love. Until I stop criticizing, there's no option to see your magnificence. I listen to us as humans do a whole lot of talking and prayer about peace, praying for peace. In the back of this amazing book is a glossary. This is how it defines peace. A state of inner calm. An inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. The peace which comes only from knowledge that it is all. Fathomless peace is meant by peace of the Spirit. This is a peace to which Jesus referred when he said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you." We want peace, but we don't seem to want to become peace. We want someone else to change their behavior to create the peace that we want. It doesn't work that way. You do not get absolution from someone else's choices. It doesn't work that way. If we are one, which I know in every fiber of my being to be true, then I have an obligation to you to find a way to be peace. Because if I want peace for you, I have to claim it for me first. If I want abundance for you, I have to become abundance. It is time for us to stop trying to get things. Law of attraction is great. but we have misused it. Law of attraction doesn't mean you pray for things and they come to you. That's beseeching, and it's not what we do. It's not what we teach. What we teach is that we become the thing we want. Einstein said it the most clear for me. When I vibrate at the level of my heart's desires, they come into being. Not when I manipulate enough circumstances so it comes to me. I vibrate. I change. Are you getting this?
Amen.
What has to change is you. All the prayer in the world for something else to change while you continue to do what you have always done changes nothing. It feeds the problem. Early on in recovery, my sponsor was brilliant. Because I was like, I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to stop. And she's like, walk across the living room. Okay. And at the top of her lungs, she screamed, stop! And I froze. She's like, well, apparently you do know how to stop. It's what to do next where we get lost. So the next thing to do is wake up. But before I can do that, I have to recognize where I am. See, if I want to go to Georgia and I'm standing in Maine with a map of Washington, D.C., chances of me getting to Georgia are slim to none. I need some secondary maps that give me the whole route. And I need to start with where I am. So start where you are. Quit looking at anybody else's life, because one of the most deadly things you can do to your own spirit is to compare you with someone else. Maybe you're not supposed to be where they are. Do you? Everyone else is taken. Now I know that's like, it's like, oh, duh. But how often do we spend our time looking at someone else going, oh, I want to be like you. Why? If we're telling the truth, what we're really saying is we want to get what they have. We want the perception of us to be our perception of them. That you're in charge of. Your perception of you, guess where it comes from? You. No one has the authority or the power to make you think or feel anything unless they're touching you. Why, if they're touching you? Because you have nerves in your body, and if someone is touching you, you feel that. But the feelings that guide us, no one has the authority over those except you. And if you have relegated that authority to someone else, that is your tomb. That is where you have stopped living. You have surrendered the most precious thing you have, choice. And in those moments, we crucify ourselves. And then we blame the people that we gave the power to. Nobody wins in that scenario. Nobody. So how do we get out of our tomb? Step 1, recognize you're in it. Step 2, wake up. Roll away the stone. This definition of peace goes on to read, the infinite is always at peace because there is nothing to disturb it. Now imagine that you are so out of giving effect, power over you. Because that's what the stone is. It's the world of effect. It's the world of form. It's that place where we lock ourselves in by reasoning backwards. It's that place where everything out here defines me. And when we roll that away, when we turn away from condition and begin to define ourselves based on our spiritual essence, our spiritual magnificence, that part of you that is whole, perfect, and complete and can't be anything else. There is no tomb that can hold you. There is no stone too big for you to just go, and away it goes. It only has power because we give it power. If I had a magic wand, if I could give every one of you one gift, it would be to see you through my eyes. To see how incredible you are. To see the magnificence that you can't see or won't see. So that when you look in the mirror, you are overwhelmed with, my God, I'm amazing. Because you are. I don't care what you've done in your life. I really don't. I don't care where you live. I don't care what's in your bank account. Because I know what's in your soul. I know what's in your heart. And that is what I'm up here to recognize in every single one of you. To scan this room and look you in the eye and communicate here to here. You are so freaking phenomenal. In this room is the power and the brilliance and everything that is necessary to stop us from bombing each other. In this very room is everything that is needed to heal this planet and every being on it. And so my call to you, my challenge to each of you, do whatever you need to do to roll away the stone. Read, study, hire a practitioner. Come talk to me. Go to therapy. Quit drinking, quit using, whatever it is that is yours to do to roll away the stone. So that you can stand in the power of your truth. Because that's how we're going to heal. That's how we're going to heal this. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing broken. We've just forgotten who we are. We are a radically inclusive community. Which means even the ones who planned and executed the bombing are a part of us. Love from that place. Dare to push beyond all of the human ideas that tell you that kind of hate's okay to hate them for doing that. It's not. Hate is hate. And we are done feeding any form of it. We're done. We have to be. Let's walk our talk. One at a time. And I don't mean get on the balance beam and never fall off. That would just be ridiculous. Okay? I invite you to consider, it's not how long you can stay on the balance beam, but how quickly can you get back on? How quickly can you get back on? Because trust me, when I first learned about the bombings, I didn't even know where my balance beam was. How quickly can we get back? How quickly can we remember? Can we recognize? Our form of spiritual mind treatment is the quickest way I know. The first step is recognition, to recognize what it is. To remember that I am that in form. The third step, everything that it is, I am. The fourth step, gratitude. Holy wow. And then when I really get that, let go. And get about the business of living in the moment. We have an amazing gift to offer the world. Don't be silent with it. Don't be shy about it. There's a difference between sharing the magnificence of these teachings and proselytizing. There's a difference. We're not out trying to save souls because we know they can't be lost. But if you have something that will magnificently change someone else's life and you really do love them, why would you keep it a secret? Why? Start there. That's a stone. Roll it away. In my less holier moments, that's subtitled, Get Over Yourself. Really. Quit worrying about what other people think about you. And here's the quickest way to do that. The reason you know other people are having thoughts about you is because you're having thoughts about them. So own your stuff. Of course people are talking about you. Now you know you're talking about people. We're all doing it. So stop. Do something different. I'm going to end with this. As an EMT, as a firefighter, as a deputy, we teach people over and over again, stop, drop, and roll to save your life. Stop, drop, and pray. Let's save our world. Let's take this into prayer. Knowing that there is only one infinite, ever-present allness, that this one is perfect peace. It is infinite abundance. It is the very intelligence that holds this thing that we call the universe together. It is that perfect intelligence that operates through the order and magnificence of all life, yet freeing it to make its own choices. This one perfect love, this one perfect peace, this one singular source of all life is my life. It is that thing that beats my heart, that dreams my dreams, that thinks my thoughts. It breathes me when I don't think about breathing. It operates every system within my physical being to perfection. Its abundance is my abundance. Its peace is my peace. All that it is, the very creative power that I witness throughout the universe, has its being as me. And what is true of me is true of all. So right where every individualized expression of divinity lives, moves, and has its being is a center for spiritual living. Beyond spiritual understanding, beyond spiritual knowing, the activity of spiritual living. And so I speak my word, claiming and affirming that we each roll away whatever stone is keeping us entombed. That we step out of all restriction into the full magnificence of our being, into that full power and presence of the creative process that lives within us, claiming and affirming that we will not be limited another breath. And we listen for what is ours to do, and we are about the business of doing it. As we witness every element and aspect of creation, we celebrate the magnificence and the diversity. And we recognize in that moment of celebration that we are undeniably one with. That inclusion is the activity of creation itself, because there is no separation. And so we step into an active, palpable experience of inclusion, knowing that as we do, love is the only operation. Celebration is a result of that. I am so incredibly grateful to know truth, to know how love and law work to manifest the desires of the divine's heart as each of us. Grateful to know that it is always in operation. And so I get to simply lean into and participate at a conscious level. Grateful to know that we are never limited. Never. And so I claim that for all of us. The magnificence, the peace, the power, the presence. And it is from this place of gratitude, from this knowingness, this beingness, that I release my word, recognizing it as the word of creation itself spoken as me. Recognizing it was fulfilled before it was even spoken in voice. And so because it is done completely, I can let it go and simply witness how it comes into being. I invite you, if you are ready to roll away the stone, to claim this as your own, that you join me in saying, and so it is.